All right. Well, it's great to get a win and find a way on a night that was kind of a defensive battle. On both ends, stingy defense, tough shots over the top most of the game. Both teams took layups away, and I just loved the grit that we showed coming out of the locker room in the second half. Just locked down defense. Made them take the shots we wanted. We won the boards by double figures, which was a goal before the game, and just had big performances, throughout. And so I thought San Diego had a nice game plan. You don't like to see anybody go down with an injury, but losing Ray kind of shifted things around, and it was interesting to see the rest of their team rise in her absence in that second quarter. It was more difficult to know where the offense was coming from, and I thought they did a nice job hitting shots, and made a big run back at us to take the lead in that second quarter. And then, I just think the second half was kind of more Beaver basketball. I thought we adapted well to what was working and what wasn't offensively, and just made the plays down the stretch, and it was another great crowd. And side note, it's Alumni weekend, and so amazing to see so many come back up there. And it was, thanks for your patience. It was hard to get down here because of it, and it was just like a big old family reunion up there, which is, as cool as it gets.
Obviously, an off night for Jenna. Was it just one of those nights? Is there a physical issue with her? Did they game plan her, or? What was the situation for Jenna tonight?
They chose to, basically just deny her the entire game and made everything really hard, on her, which opened up things for others. And, they had to defend the post one-on-one. They had to defend everybody else one-on-one. And so that was their choice, so I think from everything I know, she's good. You just had to, it's a team sport, and teams have to make their choices, and that was the choice they chose.
In the third quarter, you went deep into your bench. Sue and Mackenzie got some minutes. What were you looking for, and what did you see out of them?
What I've been seeing, everybody can play, on our team. It's just who and when. And I've been so impressed by Mackenzie in practice recently, not just recently, but for a long time. She can play, and it's just hard to get minutes when you're in this part of the season. And I really like the way she's developing and adapting. And she's just a great basketball player, and she plays like a pro. Approaches the game so professionally, and is a great teammate, and does everything on both ends of the floor so well. And so it's like she's deserving it, earning it, and then it's like, when can we use it, and when's it appropriate? And I thought that stretch was a perfect stretch for her in this game to contribute, and she delivered. And then Sue, as we're kind of looking at the type of game it is, I thought it fit her to come in and play the four, and I just moved Jenna off her normal position to see what would happen. And, Sue delivers. Coach on the floor, knows everything at multiple positions, and I thought she played very well as well. So as the year goes, our depth is developing and getting better, and understanding what it takes now. And so I thought I was really proud of them both.
Kennedy, how does it feel to have a career high in that 3-minute span there in the third quarter when you scored 9 straight for you guys? What was going through your mind as you're in that zone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool and all, but, I'm just happy that we got the win. I'm not really thinking about that stuff. I'm just trying to, I just felt like the third quarter we just needed to go, and I just knew I could get to the rim, and they were calling fouls, so if I could get to the line. But, yeah, overall, I'm just happy we got the win.
Scott, when you think about how opponents might go about trying to take her away at times, when she also has the club in the bag to become a New York point guard for a few minutes, how difficult is it to try to take her away when you're trying to game plan, like, all right, they're going to try to do this, but we can counter with that? Just how much of a privilege is that to have that, and how difficult is it to try to take her away?
Oh, it's a coach's dream, and that's what makes this team what it is. There's a reason that we are on the run that we're on, that we're improving the way that we are, because we have lots of weapons. If you're going to deny Jenna and just basically, X her out or try to, that means, it's 4-on-4. Well, you also have Kennedie, Tiara, Allie, and our 5 down there that you're trying to play against. And all of them can hurt you and all of them can go. And those other people all did go, in this game. And that was the difference. We kind of had to adjust. I think we were looking to play through Jenna in the first half. We certainly were. I mean, I was. And then it's like, okay, that's harder than it needs to be. Everything's a little more tougher than it needs to be right now. So let's use Jenna differently. It's the first team that's done it that way. But the reality is this team has weapons all over the place. So pick your poison. If you want to take Ken away, what are you going to do? That just means you're going to send 2 at her. You're not going to deny her the ball. She's going to get it. And so you're going to have to send 2 at her, which opens somebody else up. And, so it's up to us, I guess, as coaches to figure it out. And maybe I could have figured it out sooner tonight.
And then this is for both Lizzy and Kennedie. You guys have had so much success throughout the season, but every game it seems like you're coming in and you wouldn't know you guys are at the top of the WCC. This team just doesn't get complacent. Where does that come from?
I think that just is very much driven from our team culture, and it's definitely driven from the coaches as well as our leadership. And we just always say, keep going. It's our number one thing, and just never want to settle. And we always want to keep, every game's a new day, and everyone's going to give us that toughest game. So we have to come out like they're going to do that.
Yeah, Coach, with you guys had obviously the Gonzaga win and then a week's worth of rest. How does that affect it today?
Yeah, it could have. It's interesting to have to, sit out a bye game and watch for that long. I think it's probably a blessing and a curse, though. I think it was nice to have Saturday last week, just to hang out and watch the conference play. And, and maybe that it took a bit to get going again, but it just is what it is. You just manage it and play through it.
And then, you talked about the alumni. You had the band today. You had the crowd again. And the alumni, how does that create, such a good atmosphere?
No, that's the place to be. That's what you want. There's no band anywhere like what we've got. That's incredible. That's like the entire end zone. It's like a football band. Literally. And they're so into it. It's so inspiring. We talk about trying to be inspiring as a team. Well, the band's inspiring. If you're lacking inspiration, just look down there, and I should include cheer and dance and all that too. But, the band is just so overwhelming. And then Beaver Nation, coming out like they did again, on a Thursday night, it was unbelievable. And then, I walked through the equipment room to get in here today, and I've got Patricia Bright and Kiki Edwards Teasley and Anna Marchbanks, players from our 2013 team, in the equipment room, begging for gear. And it was just like old times. It was so fun and cool, and it's just neat to see. Not only, we've got parents here, and their daughter couldn't make it back. Maddie Washington's parents are here, and Maddie couldn't make it, and so that's incredible. They live in Houston, so you can just tell how much the experience at Oregon State has meant to all of these people, and how special it is to come back, and it's like a sisterhood, and it's so deep, and. I love that aspect of our program so much, and it's the vision. It's what I hoped. It's what I hope, and to see it happen is so rewarding. And so they're having the time of their life up there. And so I can't wait for our team to interact with them, which will happen in practice and shoot around. And so that's coming. So they've watched Marie Gulich block 1 million shots and score 1 million times in the post, and now they get to meet her. To me, that's the coolest thing there is. And Ruth Hamblin, and, they've watched Jamie Weisner, create a shot and, earn the right to drive, and all the things that we say as coaches. They've watched these clips of these people, and now here they are. That's actual person, not just, pixels on a screen. And so they're like, oh, these stories are actually real that you're telling us. So this weekend is awesome.
And then a question for Kennedy, how does it feel to actually meet those players, the alumni, and actually get to talk to them about the game?
Yeah, it's super cool to have them back. I'm excited tomorrow to, I've met a few of them, but just to, pick their brain and learn from them. So, I mean, every day I'm lucky enough to have Sid and Dev, but to have them all back here is super cool. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Scott, to contextualize what Kennedy's doing defensively, because of the way that y'all are who you are in terms of generating steals. I mean, in your own game notes say you don't risk that. That's not what you do. The stats say that she has the most steals for y'all since Alicia 14 years ago. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you were running the zone 14 years ago, or at least not the same. So to the layperson, can you explain how somebody, while she may not be a national leader in steals yet, but your defense is never going to do that. So how special is what she's doing in the system you run, and how much more do you have to let off the reins of what you want because you have someone who can do what she's doing?
That's a good question. Just as a coach, you're always wondering, are you doing the best thing? You're always wondering that. Should we have been doing this or that? How could we maximize this or that? So after every game, I question myself, is what could have been better tonight? I don't care if we win or lose. It doesn't matter. What could be better tonight? And then you just make subtle tweaks and you keep going. Well, as the depth is developing and people are becoming more experienced and understanding things more throughout our roster, maybe we can do more things, especially defensively. Now, the steal thing is, historically we're playing, you build, my philosophy is to build a system to beat the best team on your schedule. So forever it's been, we have to play a style that can beat Stanford. Well, you get out of position against Stanford, you're giving up a bucket or rebounding, you're getting scored on. You cannot ever get out of position against them. Try getting out of position against Sabrina. The second you hedge, you just gave up a bucket because she'd rather pass than shoot. And so everything we do is built off of that standard, which means position defense over everything. Now, out of position defense, you can make plays. And I tell them that all the time. I'm like, as much pressure as possible without getting beat, make plays. And so as you're anticipating and understanding, and now you have so much experience that there's really nothing you haven't seen. Now you can anticipate and you go, I know this is what you want to do. And you get into the scout and you're like, this play, this is going to happen, and I'm just going to sit back and wait, and here it comes, steal. So Kennedy is at that point now where it was survival for a while, and a lot of our players are in the survival mode. I'm just trying to get in position and stay in position for 30 seconds at a time, and that's hard. Footwork and angles and all the things we talk about in recognition. And then you get to a point where it's like breathing, and now I'm in position. I know this is all happening, and now I'm just going to dominate this possession. The evolution of our Final Four team that's here, that's what they became at the end. Nobody could score on us. We blocked every shot you wanted. We knew what was going to happen. We had people that could get steals, and it was just impossible to play against that team, near impossible. This team is growing towards that, and Kennedy's there already. So you put an athlete like Ken in a system like ours, there's great opportunity to make plays, and that's what she's taking full advantage of. And so Alicia is Anna, who I mentioned earlier, and so she's here this weekend as well. And so she was amazing in our zone. Actually, those teams only zoned. We couldn't play 5 at all. And so she played the 4 position and just made all kinds of plays, once she became a master of that, because she was also an incredible athlete.
Coach, you've been talking about, kind of showing some of the Ruth and Marie's tape, a little bit more recently. I'm curious, so is there any facets of this team right now where you're thinking like, yep, that's going to go on the tape for future generations or teams to really recount and learn from?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're just talking about, Kennedy's defense certainly is. The way that Allie defended the other night certainly is. The way Jenna gets free and gets open and knocks shots down and spaces away certainly, that's big time. The way Tiara plays out of her step back, that's textbook. And then, for our bigs, the video I showed them on Monday, which, you never know what's sinking in. So do you remember that video?
Yes.
All right, okay, cool. We showed every post player that basically started for us at one point or another, their blocks. And all the way back, to El Sarah Greer in 2010 and 11. And that meant that Sela Heidi was on it and Kelsey Reese. So who will be on it next year? And we saw 2 blocks out of Nene tonight that you might not have seen last week. We worked really hard on that. Lizzy's positioning defensively, the first possession where they went inside today, she was perfect in position. Their post caught the ball out of position and took a shot over the top of her, missed it, and we got the rebound. And it was like, that's what we've been working all week. So when I say that this team is scratching kind of the surface of where we can be and we have so much more room to grow, that's some of the stuff I'm really talking about. Our bigs can operate at just a different level now that they're understanding our concepts more holistically and can just concentrate and focus on, making plays, I guess, instead of survival.
Go
Thank you.
Beavs.